that once nothing phases you. But then once nothing phases you in that sense, that's when they start getting physical.
Yep.
It gets sexual.
That's right, because
it
they're
gets
dead
weird.
inside.
And like you said, but they're still seeking the same things in the midst of that. So you got power pool. Well, now you're dealing with people's uncomfortability and right now, especially with the cancel culture, sex is a very thin line. It's a thin line.
It is, but you know what? This is
and it sells. That's what's scary about it.
Yeah. Even outside, I said this the other day, and I'm gonna say it again because it's important. Even outside of fame, just being in a relationship, okay, and it doesn't matter if you're in a relationship with a man, with a woman, whatever. If you have an intimate, a sexual relationship with somebody, you got to have adult conversations because see, what may have been acceptable with another partner may not be acceptable with me.
Everybody's different.
And if it's your norm to do the choking and all of that, and that's just your norm, because maybe that's just where you come from and you're used to it. And then you with somebody and y'all haven't had these discussions. See, now this is where the trouble comes.
Yeah.
This is where the trouble comes. Yeah. And then even within that, this is what I'll say. Even within that, when it comes to intimacy and sexual things, what may have been okay last week, you cannot assume it's okay this week. If y'all was drinking, y'all was out, y'all was doing. See, that's the thing. Drinking.
Smoking, that's why I said it's a thin line.
All of that stuff changes.
It's a thin line. That's why it's weird because
it really is.
Y'all could be dating for 6 months and something be cool, and all of a sudden the next week it's not, and it's like, well, wait a minute, what flipped? I'm thinking we being consistent, and then it's like, so now my consistency is now can be deemed as something inappropriate.
Right. So
it's difficult.
It is,
but that's what you said, communication.
Communication every time.
But America,
every time.
I'm not going to say the whole world because some places in the world you really don't. They don't really talk about sexuality.
Yeah.
But in America, we sell it so much, but yet still we put so many stipulations on it.
Talk about
and we don't talk about it. It's not a comfortable, it's not a comfortable conversation where you and your partner sit on like, all right, so what are you cool with? What are you not cool with?
Yeah.
It's more so like we're gonna get drunk and meet at the bar and we'll figure it out as we're in the midst of it. But that's how you get people who say, I didn't want that, but I was scared to say so. Yep. Now he raped you. He's actually a good guy, but now he's going to jail. Or the vice versa, the girl who didn't know that he wasn't putting stuff in his drink, and now he's passed out, and he wants to sue you. Now you're in jail on some J-Lo and the hustler stuff.
It's so much stuff that can happen.
Communication has to be the key.
As an individual, you got to protect yourself. Men and women. Women have to be vocal. And the thing about society now, I was getting to men, but so society now with all the smartphones and all of the smart devices, it's made us lack the ability to speak and defend ourselves and make sense and really be our own best advocate.
It took our memory away.
It took our memory away.
When we was kids and you say, what's your grandma's number? You could recite it.
Exactly.
You knew your mama's number, daddy's number, mom's work number. You knew everybody's number. Now you say, well, what's your mama's number? You got to pull your phone out and go to the contacts.
I remember you got to be a time to where you could just link up with your friends and it was no phones, no social media. Y'all just sit and talk about life, talk about whatever. Now,
hang out playing cards.
When y'all go out.
Remember Jacks?
You had to go over their house.
You used to ride to your friend's house on your bike. If it got too late and you realized that you wasn't going to make it home before the street lights came on, you got on their phone and you called home.
Yeah.
And you said, hey, Mom, it's late. Is somebody going to come pick me up or should I just ride home? But there was communication.
It was communication.
And it was really that gangster was less said. This was more understood because you knew. Have your butt in the house before the street lights come on.
Exactly.
Right. Or don't come home at all.
Or don't come home. Because you know what's waiting.
I'm coming home, Mama.
You know what's waiting for you when you get home.
I got smart. I just played out. I played in front of the house. Play in front of the house. Because they didn't know. Because when you play in front of the house, your mom see you. She come outside. You still home. She might still be cooking dinner or don't want to deal with your ratchetness.
But it's dangerous playing in the front of the house.
Nowadays it is.
I was with the bad kids at time, so yeah.
I played baseball. I played drums. I was in the church.
I was a nerd.
I would listen. Yeah. My mom was smart. She put the PlayStation in the garage. She put the couch in the garage. She put my drums in the piano. She made a place where
y'all had a garage.
Yeah,
in Oakland. In Oakland, we had a garage.
And at that time, we was in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
So, and back then, 90s, Pittsburgh's the suburbs.
Okay.
The 90s, Pittsburgh was really the suburbs, super suburbs.
I mean, I would have said Oakland was a suburb too. What'd you say?
In the 90s?
No, I'm not.
90s and 2000s. Yeah, I said maybe the 80s.
I ain't gonna get my age.
I was like,
right
90s and 2000s. Oakland was
okay,
cracking.
let's take it back to the 90s.
I was like, Oakland was cracking.
I was born in 92. So
90s in Oakland, that's be legit. That's E40 too short.
I know.
Oh Lord. Go ahead. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, so I don't give my age away. At least I do to the women.
Okay.
Because I need to let them know what you can do and what your body can do naturally.
See, if you was from the Bay right now, you would already know because she gave it away. She was like, the 90s. You were like, wait a minute, hold on, let me do some math in my head.
Listen, y'all. This is why I love having like real guests because I love to just talk. You know what? And I love the ability to relate to different people because I say this all the time in life and business. You know, all of the stuff I talk about, it's all tied into relationships with people. Whether it's your job, whether it's your church, whether it's your business, it is all relationships with people. And when we don't have the life that we want for ourselves, it means that something's broken in the relationship.
100%.
But people don't recognize. They don't recognize it's relationships. Yeah. And relationships is how do we relate to each other? See, we can relate to each other on hip hop. We can relate to each other on just how we was raised, where we came from. We are in relation. And that's what I love about life. And that's what I love about people because this is how we grow. Right? And when I talked about the 50th anniversary of hip hop, when I did that show, that's what I was saying. See, hip hop moved us. It positioned us more so than politics ever has. It brought diverse people together more than politics ever has. It had us all like together voting for President Obama.
Yeah, it really did bring a lot of people together.
That's what I'm saying. See, that was
because it's the culture.
It's the culture.
It's the culture.
And that's relation. That's being in relationship.
Hip hop has food. Hip hop has traditions. Hip hop has the ability to bring, like you said, bring people together.
Clothing.
It makes you dance.
Hairstyle.
It's all of that.
It's all of that. Hip hop is everything. Literally, it's everything.
Yeah. So look, check it out, you guys. I'm so excited. I've got special guests in the studio. You listening to Savage Talk with Keefa only on 101 TKO Radio. Hell yeah. What's up? We are back. You're listening to Savage Talk on 101 TKO Radio. So listen, we've been talking about lots of stuff, y'all. I hope y'all tuned in. So look, the best way to listen, I don't want to forget, the best way to listen is download the app. The best experience. You don't want to miss none of this goodness. Download the app, 101 TKO Radio. You could also call in live. I'm going to pose a question to y'all, and I want you to call in, okay? The call-in number, 678-439-7419. 678-439-7419. So look, I'm going to shift gears for a minute. I've got some special guests in the studio. Say what's up, y'all.
How you doing?
What it do?
Introduce yourselves. Like they've been listening to y'all talk, but introduce yourselves.
I go by Cali. Well, I'm DJ 450 Panda. I'm a new host here at the station, and I'll be doing Thursdays and Saturdays here at the station, 10 to 2. I'm excited to be a part of the team, and I'm happy to be here with you, having this experience and being able to just join in randomly, on a Thursday.
He's from Cali, y'all.
Shout out Bay Area.
Shout out to Bay Area. Go ahead.
What's up, world? This your boy DJ Superstar, the one and only. Y'all can catch me every Monday here on 101 TKO Radio with my boy Johnny Cabell on the Johnny Cabell Show. Glad to be a part of the team. I was just actually in the area today, and I dropped in and decided to sit in on the show.
That's right. And I love it because I want you guys to answer this question. So I've been talking about building a president. You guys know. It doesn't matter right now if you're a Democrat or a Republican. The people is looking crazy. Mm-hmm. Okay. We really are about a year out from choosing the next president. Mm-hmm. And the lineup is prisonash, okay? Yeah. The lineup is weak, whack, all of that, whatever words you can find to describe it, especially for the Dems, right? For the Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we're going to play a game. Y'all remember Mr. Potato Head?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mrs. Potato Head, we're going to build a president. And this is how we're going to do it.
All right.
Think about 2 to 3 highly weird or famous people. And think about some of the traits that you like about them. For example, 50 Cent is one of mine. So he's going to be one that I pick, right? I'm going to throw some 50 in the hat.
Okay.
And then I got a local favorite, Dr. Rashad Ritchie.
Shout out to Dr. Rashad Ritchie.
That's right. Shout
TYT.
out. That's right. The Young Turks Network.
TYT in the building.
Yes, sir. So he's my number 2.
Okay.
I'm going to throw some Dr. Ritchie in that thing. And then, number 3, it might sound a little crazy, but I think number 3 for me might be a little Cornel West or something.
Come on now.
I had a feeling you were gonna go there.
Why?
Yeah.
My age?
No.
Because he's the GOAT.
I don't know your age.
Cornel West. I went to Alabama State. Yeah. Cornel West came to my school and spoke. And at the time, I was straight from Cali. Going from California to Alabama was a culture shock.
Absolutely. Oh, God. Absolutely.
I was scared. They were like, "You're in the wrong place, boy. You need it." I went to the gas station. They're like, "You're in the wrong place, boy. It's dark out. Let me run back to my dorm." Yeah. I was scared. So, when I seen him, he opened my eyes and really, being in a room full of young Black people and him, he gave us confidence it was okay to be Black. It was okay to be proud. But in a business-like, in a prideful-like,
that's right.
in an elevated way where we're not being of the criteria that other people tend to put us in the box where they put us in.
Right.
And I saw him in the airport probably, 15 years later? This was 3 or 4 years ago. I was getting ready to go play a show out in Texas with my DJ partner. And I saw him in the airport, and I said, "You came to my school and spoke." He goes, "Alabama State." I said, "Oh, my Lord."
Yeah.
I said, he remembered. Yeah. 15 years later, he remembered me from being there.
Shout out to the Hornets.
Oh, wait, hold up.
No, hold on now.
Rewind.
Although I didn't go there, I went to another almighty HBCU.
Look, I'm good with that. But you know what? See, I'll talk about this later. I love the HBCU stuff.
Nah, but
it's different in Cali though.
He's,
yeah. Okay. So yeah, let's get back to my question. So that's my 3.
I got mine already.
That is my 3.
Okay.
That's not a bad one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. But I do have. Okay. So
no, hold on, I got a question for you.
Backup.
I got a question for you though.
Okay.
Are we just speaking figuratively of these people, or how we building these people up? Like, is it Cornel West's body and somebody else's head?
No, that's part B.
Okay.
That's part B. We're gonna talk specifics
okay.
after we talk about our 3 people. Okay. But I've got a
that matters.
I've got a backup in case one of them falls ill or something like that. Okay.
Who's your 6th man?
My backup man is Michael Eric Dyson.
Michael Eric Dyson. Don't beat me up if I don't know who that is.
He's another one that is
I may know him by
smart,
face. I may know him by face.
Extremely smart, like another Dr. Rashad Ritchie.
Mm-hmm.
Except he's older than Dr. Ritchie.
Is he on YouTube a lot?
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Or has it been more like on TikTok recently?
Well, I don't be on TikTok.
I don't know
YouTube.
about TikTok, but definitely.
The names, I just see his face.
Yeah, you'll know who he is because he comes on a lot of people's political shows. Mm-hmm. He does radio shows himself. So that's my 4th lineup. Okay. That is my Mr. Potato Head president.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go with mine. Y'all don't be mad at me. So my number 1 will be Dr. CB.
I'm not mad at that.
Okay, I ain't mad, but
I'm gonna go
explain yourself. When we get to part B.
Okay. So Dr. CB will be 1. Number 2 will be Malcolm X. I had to choose Malcolm X.
They gotta be living.
You didn't say that. She didn't say that at the beginning. She said, "Wait a minute, hold on."
I thought y'all would figure it out because my people was living.
I mean, that didn't still make no relevance. We don't know that.
I'm just building a Mr. Potato Head president.
I mean, because don't say Jesus. Let's talk about
we realistic. Malcolm was a figure that everybody admired.
I know, but let's talk about real people. Real people like
he's real.
I mean,
alive people.
Alive.
Everybody I mentioned, they not here.
I know. So let's start again. Okay, so let me quantify. They got to be living.
Okay.
I know it's make believe.
Okay.
But they got to be living.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to spin the block. You go ahead.
All right. So mine, I had them ready, but then when she started doing that, it threw me a little bit. But it's cool. So I'm gonna just kind of go off the dome because I like being like that. I think the first person I would pick is The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
I'm with it.
And the reason I say that is his stature, just how he carries himself, his confidence, his beliefs, and his faith, and how he moves. He's not a person that's easily, persuaded by the Hollywood. I don't feel like he's one of those guys that
you can get. He's 10 toes down.
100%
for what he believes. 100%. Okay, I'm with it.
I would say him. Unpopular opinion on this, Trump.
I get it.
Unpopular for his finances, because if you take him out of politics, that man makes money. He makes money.
Well, I don't know about that.
Listen, he gets money.
He says he does. So does P. Diddy.
Trump was listen. Is there a Sean John Tower somewhere? Are there 12 Sean John Towers in gold across the world?
He probably got to name something different. It might be
Sean Johnville.
Hey, I got a Sean John Road. That I bought at Marshall's way back in the day.
I'm just saying we're not gonna get deep in him, but this is a man who tricked the whole government of New York into giving him taxes on buildings that he bought, on anything he does that he bought. He bought a building from them and sold it back to them and said, "But I don't want no taxes," and made millions from it. Does he get money? He gets money.
Okay.
He gets money against Uncle Sam, and that's why they had to join forces with him, because he was more dangerous against them, teaching the ways of profit than he was with them.
Okay, who's number 3? I'll go with Trump.
My third person is going to sound weird, but Alicia Keys. And as I grew up loving her, but it was her music always had compassion. Mm-hmm. It always had care. And I feel like, yes, in politics, you need to have a certain amount of grit, but you also have to have somebody who can really show that they care for people overall, regardless of color, ethnicity, religion, belief. And like just seeing her tours, seeing her charity campaigns, looking deeper, because a lot of these charities be blankets for them to make more money. When you go look at her charities, they really building houses in Africa. Yeah. They really over in other countries, not just in Asia. They're
like
not
T.I. did.
Yes, like Akon, and that would be that's my backup person. Right. Yeah. My backup person would be Akon.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
Because that man is out there.
Is
Not only do I opened his club, Ember. He's one of the owners of Ember with Andre Johnson, the wide receiver, and Charles Houston, the real estate mogul. They opened Ember together, and me and my DJ partner, he's actually King, and we opened Ember. And my mother-in-law is actually in Congo in government, and she does stuff with Akon and them in conferences all the time.
And he's Liberian, right?
He's from it's not Senegal. He's from, it might be Liberia.
I think Akon is Liberian.
It might be.
Look up where Akon is.
I think he's Liberian.
I don't know if he's Liberian, but he
does a lot of giving.
Listen, he's lighting his country up. He's giving back. He's created electricity in places that they never even knew it existed. Like the way he's moving for his people and always standing down. And he's a real one. Like when I met him, he was like, I want y'all here, the vibes y'all created. And then when he met my mom and realized who my mother was, like she showed him a picture. He was like, that's my guy. He be at my club. Like he's a people person.
A real person.
He's real, but he's also about his business. He's about money, the amount of money he's generated for his country. And the things he's doing over there in his country, that's why they want him to be the president. They want him to be God over there. Where he's
okay, well,
his parents from Senegal.
Yeah, Senegal.
Senegal. Okay. All right, I got family from Senegal.
So that's mine. My Trump would be, just for the financial aspect of things, but it would be Akon.
The Rock for the looks.
Huh?
Trump for the money.
Yeah.
Akon for the money. Alicia
Akon for the business aspect.
No.
You're right. Alicia for the vocals.
Alicia for the vocals.
She can sing both for me.
If Alicia comes along, you know what that means. We gotta take a husband too. So the beats is gonna be dope. We gotta take Swiss too.
So all the commercials and the beats gonna be on point
for
that campaign.
That's right.
Legit.
Okay.
Royalty free.
Can you imagine on the campaign trail, man? I'm gonna show up.
Can you imagine seeing the old white politicians having to do the get your
Bernie Sanders.
No, he's just gonna sit there with a leg straw and look crazy.
Wait a minute.
Bernie is
wait a minute.
And I know people gonna hate me for this, but y'all remember when Muhammad Ali was on the BET Awards and they was eating at them tables and he was eating them peas with that spoon and he was shaking and them the peas were flying everywhere.
Wait, Bernie or Ali?
Ali. Before he died, right? Remember he was eating and he was shaking and the peas were falling everywhere. And they had zoomed in the camera on him and everybody's like, zoom the camera out. Don't do that, man, like that. And then you saw his daughter had took the peas and put them in the potatoes for him, right?
I think I kind of, because
Bernie is about 2 days away from shaking every carrot off the spoon. I tell you that.
You know what?
These pauses.
He told them jokers to sit down in Congress. He told them.
Because you ever see your grandma get mad? She sit around and had them little moments where she kind of sleep and nod off, and then she see a kid and she say, "I said sit it down."
Right, and you pretend like you okay, grandma.
And everybody like,
okay, you just pretend.
Because you know old people strong, so you like, ooh, I don't want her to snatch me up.
Yeah.
Listen, old folks got a pinch like nobody. I'm telling you, they
why
can
are
pinch
they
my
so
whole arm off.
Why are they so strong?
For
That's
real,
from the 60s and 70s.
That's straight from the 70s?
Yeah.
From the 70s.
From moving them big old pots and
from
pans.
the industrial work.
Yeah, you know what?
Your iron working grandfather who worked 30 years on as a laborer for the union.
That's
you think he's not strong? He's strong.
Yeah, because when you got knocked upside the head, well, your head, when they said, I'm going to knock your head right off your neck.
Yeah.
Listen.
They really meant
it. They meant it.
We knew Grandpa was strong because he could grab one of the peppermints out of the bowl and squeeze it barely and
get your piece.
Oh, man.
Shoot out. Wow.
And break it up between all five.
You got to unravel all shit. Oh, there you go. Take a butterscotch and grab the bottom.
Wow.
And you know them old men be soft too.
Oh yeah.
So they hard to break. Because they be kind of soft, kind of hard in the middle.
Wow.
Which that's a terrible place to be. I'm just saying.
Old Mintville?
In Middleville. Okay, but look, DJ Superstar, what's your 3? 4?
All right, my 3. Number 1 would be LeBron James.
Oh, that's a good one.
LeBron James because
look at it right there.
He's a family man. He's a businessman.
Okay.
He's on top of his family, on top of his business. And then in the sports world, contrary to belief, whether you say he's the best or not,
he's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT. Of this era.
21 years and he dropped 38 the other night.
I can go with that, but I need to see who else is going to be on the team.
No one.
Because he can't do it by himself.
Okay,
Some things he can do by himself, but running the country, he cannot do by himself.
Number 2, Mike Tyson.
Oh, Lord.
Number 2, Mike Tyson. Why? Because I was talking to some people before, and they thought Mike Tyson was undefeated. I said, no. If you ever watched any of Mike Tyson fights, Mike Tyson lost.
Okay.
He lost.
Okay. And he had to come back?
And he had to come back.
The premise?
And he had to come back. Although he lost, he still was at the top of his time, top of the era, whatever.
And that ruins a lot of fighters.
Mike is smart.
A lot of fighters, it's over for him.
And he speaks his mind. He doesn't care about who you are.
Smart. If you've ever watched his podcast, Mike is intelligent.
I'm gonna have to check it out.
You listen. He on there sitting there smoking. But he says what's in his mind. He holds people accountable. And because people fear the punch of his, they will sit there and take it.
Or the bite of his mouth.
Mike, no,
he'll bite your ear off.
Jesus.
I'm saying.
I always say
I don't want to have to get a TV shot.
Yeah.
If you got a tiger in your house,
you're the truth.
You're a different level person. You're a different level person.
First of all, the Tiger King had a bunch of tigers, and he wasn't nobody's truth.
Tiger King ain't never knocked nobody out, but a Mountain Dew can.
Or bite somebody's ear off.
That's true.
Listen, do you remember that man told
had a tiger.
Mike Tyson told what's the big tall African he fought? Lennox Lewis. He said, I'm a monster. I'll eat your children. I'll deep fry your poodle.
And he was serious.
Lennox said, I don't even have a dog.
He was serious.
And he was so serious. I will deep fry your poodle.
Has he ever said he regretted saying that?
No, because he didn't regret it.
I was just curious.
It was the sport of boxing. He meant every word.
He had an interview with Lennox Lewis, and he literally said, yeah, I was afraid of you, but you didn't know that.
Because Lennox was so tall and long. As I said, that's a good pick. I like Mike. After watching his podcast a lot, what really brought me to him was when he did the podcast with Joe Rogan. And I listened to them two talk for 3 hours. And I was like, that's why they give Joe Rogan $1 million an episode.
Yeah, Rogan he's wise, he's smart, he speaks his mind. He's a cannabis advocate. He is sports advocate.
He's not afraid of the truth.
Talks about,
Tyson is not afraid of the truth. People who fear the truth because of their own emotional standpoint, they're worried, oh, it's going to hurt me, or I'm going to be ashamed, or I'm going to be embarrassed. Those feelings are temporary feelings. The truth will last you forever.
So who's number 3?
And number three will be Rihanna.
Oh, Lord.
Another singer.
Oh, Lord.
But Rihanna's brilliant. Listen, I am.
Black excellence.
Let me tell you why I'm with it.
Time out. You're right. I got to clap. I think Savage Fendi. How much money?
I was just going there.
Black excellence.
I was going to say the Savage Fendi bag is just ridiculous.
And the whole marketing. So I'm with that. I'm with all 3 of those people.
But
that's a good way to spin the block there, my guy.
Listen,
I had to resonate.
That's part A.
Okay.
Now we got to quantify the specific qualities and traits
of those people
that will make a great president.
Okay,
for the entire country. See, not just us.
Oh, no, my
for the entire country. So now we got to quantify.
It'll be good.
Okay. So y'all, listen. All I'm gonna say, 50 Cent Power. He had the foresight. See, this is what I be looking for in a president, is having the foresight to take our country and position us where we need to be 3-4 years from now. 50 showed he could do that with Power, with all of the spinoffs. So when people thought, when they didn't believe in him, when he bought the network and really, like, I'm gonna tell you, I was one of those people who I thought it was crazy. You're gonna get a whole network just to put your stuff out. That seemed crazy to me. Like Byron Allen, Actually, I should put him on the list.
I should put him on the list.
Put him on the list. But so 50 Cent, he speaks his mind. He speaks the truth, right? He speaks the truth. And he has the vision. 50 has the vision. So that's my one statement. 50 has the vision. Okay. Now, Cornel West, he's just brilliant. We need somebody on the team all around is brilliant with a high IQ. Okay, with a high IQ that can say, look, y'all, that all sounds great in theory, but in order to make it practical for us to be able to roll it out to all states, to trickle down into all cities and counties, this is what we need to do. And I think Cornel West can fill in those gaps.
I agree with you on that.
Right? He can fill in the gaps. And then of course, Dr. Richie, he's gonna be the face. He's gonna be the one at the podium breaking it all down in a way that people understand it, and in a way that people understand how it's going to benefit them as individuals, how it's going to benefit their family, and he's going to keep the entire government, Senate, all of that. He will keep them or hold them to the highest degree of integrity and transparency, and he don't waver in that, and that's why he would be my other choice. And I think that team is unbeatable.
That's a good team. That's a good start lineup.
All right.
That's a good start lineup.
I might vote for that person, maybe.
Yay!
If I said it first, I would vote even more.
Yay! See, so thank you. Now, all right, you guys got to quantify.
All right, I'm gonna jump on this one first.
You go ahead.
So with LeBron James, as I mentioned, he does business, sports, family man, different businesses. LeBron James will be, in my opinion, the key person to have these meetings with these different countries. You know, just like we're having these meetings with Poland and Russia, China, whatever it may be. I believe
maybe
with LeBron
but not
James.
like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, he ain't Dennis.
No.
Dennis go places Jordan.
Dennis he gonna get physical and try to fight somebody.
Dennis worried enough to go to. Dennis went to Korea.
Yeah. Well, I know he wanted to be the spokesperson
and was kicking it.
Yeah.
Was relaxing.
Yeah,
vacationing.
he said Kim Jong-un is his partner.
Like he was.
That's what when you vacation over there, you different.
Like you still.
Okay, so LeBron can do it for real.
Managing multiple entities and still being on top of each one. So I feel like he can be in these meetings with these different countries.
Like at Israel, like with China, get our trades together.
Right.
And okay, I'm with it.
I just feel like if the leader of one of them countries is like a Cleveland fan, we're toast. If they're a true basketball fan, we're toast. That's why I was like, yeah. But sometimes having so much success in certain areas can be good and bad. Because what if like Kim Jong-un is a huge basketball fan, but he hates LeBron?
Yeah.
What if he's like a Luka fan? Then does it really do good that LeBron's gonna come over there and try to talk to him?
It don't matter. LeBron gonna put all that aside and say, listen, either you're gonna do this,
but is he gonna put that aside?
I don't know. I haven't had that meeting with him.
And Mike Tyson is gonna be the one to back,
He's gonna be able to back him up.
You tell us.
So Mike Tyson is gonna speak his mind. Mike Tyson will be sitting in on these meetings. He will be dealing with all the craziness going on here, and he'll tell it how it is.
So what would Mike say?
So
what would Mike say? We say, hold on, everybody listen up. Everybody just calm down so we can work this out.
Wait, but hold it till after the break.
Okay.
Let's keep them holding their breath.
Okay, for sure.
Listen, you guys, do not go anywhere. We got the greatest Build the President coming up, and then you guys are gonna tell us out of all three picks who's got the greatest chance at winning out of all three of us. Okay, you're listening to Savage Talk with Keefa on 101 TKO Radio. We'll be back after the break, y'all.
I gotta go get some water. Oh, you got that Take Keep playing?
Hey.
Cool.
And this is it's not you. It's clear over here. It's the TV.
What's up, y'all? We are back. You listening to your coach, Savage Coach Keefa on 101 TKO Radio with Savage Talk with Keefa. So look, thank you guys for sticking around, giving me your ear. We building us a president. We're building us a president, okay? So I don't want you thinking about who we gonna vote for. Think about if you could snap your finger and you can take 3 people from Hollywood, famous, their best qualities and traits, and build yourself a president, not just for you, but for the entire country, okay? The president has to serve the interests of the entire country. Who are your 3 people going to be, okay? You've heard us talk about our 3 people. All right, so I'm going to go over mine again. Who did I pick? 50 Cent. He's number 1. Dr. Rashad Ritchie, a local favorite. He's number 2. And then Cornel West. Cornel West was my number 3. And the alternate, just in case something happened to one of my 1 through 3, I have Michael Eric Dyson on standby. So I want you to do this. Give me a call, 678-439-7419, 678-439-7419, and tell me, who are your 3 people? And yes, you can give an alternate as well. Who are your 3 people? See, so when I was building my president, I was looking for a few things. Number 1, I want a team that actually has the knowledge and the desire to propel our society forward. And when I say propel our society forward, I actually mean in multiple ways, not just where we stand as a country relative to other countries in the world, not just improving trade relations, because yeah, it's true. Right now, we as in America, we have so much goods imported into our country, with not enough being exported to other countries, right? You know why? Because think about it. I talked about this. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, y'all like to buy stuff cheap, and it's cheap from China. So we got a caller. Y'all. We're about to hear about these, the Builder President. Caller, you're on. Go ahead. Yeah, are you there? Okay, call back, caller, because yeah, try again. Give me a call back again. I want to hear your pick. I want to hear your president. So I built my team because I believe my team can win. They have the knowledge. They have the leadership ability. See, that's another thing. We need a team that can lead. Okay, our caller's back. Go ahead. You are on Savage Talk with Keefa. Let me hear your pick, caller. Go ahead. You're on.
Hey, Keefa. Hey, how you doing? Great show.
Oh, hey, Jewel. What's up, Jewel?
How you doing? Hey, I just wanted to call in and give my 2 cents. So far, I think the choices have been great. Really enjoyed. Very interesting, but not necessarily Hollywood stars, but to me, they're famous, and I think they would be great. So my first is Jay-Z. I got to give Jay-Z props because he's a billionaire. Came from the gutter, and he knows exactly how to mingle and match and make things happen. So I got to go with Jay-Z. And then there's a gentleman from Denver, the richest black man in America, Robert Smith. And if you don't know about him, don't know, he has a great story. He even paid for the education of, I think it's the Boko Haram girl. You remember about 10 years ago, they were kidnapped.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that, Joel. I do remember that.
So he paid for all of their education. then finally, my third person would be Michelle Obama. And I think that she would be the icing on the cake. All of them are so smart, so brilliant in their own right, but if you were to put them together, then I think it would just be an outstanding president. And I think, and just for given, my ultimate Dennis Rodman. But that's for a whole.
Well, okay, but you got to quantify that. Dennis Rodman, why? And what would be his role on the team?
Dennis Rodman would be, because, people perceive him as a clown, but that man had a high basketball intelligence. And he's intelligent. I listen to him, and he's done different things, shenanigans. But if you look at how he connected to North Korea and their leadership, that shows that he's able to be an ambassador. He can cross that line if we ever needed someone to really speak for us in a way that most people can't.
But is he dependable? I think that would be the biggest issue, is that you got a wild card with him. Because maybe when he's on, but he may relapse. I think it's more things at play with that team.
Well, that's why I said he's a wild card, but I put that on there just in case, but the other ones didn't work out. But I think my top three, if they were to come together, I think it'd be dynamic. So anyway, I appreciate you letting me call in, and I want to hear one thing from you. What do you consider, and I'll jump off, but what do you consider the ultimate characteristic that a president should have? Should they be politically savvy, or should they have more of a moral compass? What if you could only choose one, which would it be?
That is a great question. That's a great question. Thank you for calling, Jewel. I appreciate you, because you always come with some wise questions for me. You always come with some smart stuff. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you calling in.
Looking forward to your answer.
Okay, so yeah. That is a good one. This is what I think, though. If there is the greatest quality, so let me answer your question. In my opinion, the most important quality, and this is even if we're talking about our fictitious build a president, or in real life, the Senate, the people running for president, in my opinion, the most important thing is the ability to pull together a team, right? Having the integrity. See, you don't have to be politically smart, but you need to be able to have the wisdom, the charisma, the ability to lead so that people actually want to follow. And if you have that ability, all of the people that have the smarts, that have the things you need to implement your plan, will join your team. So one of the problems that Trump has right now is that he's alienated a lot of people. He is, in fact, himself a wild card. He may turn on you. And when you are that way, it makes it very difficult for people to trust you, especially when they've watched you burn people in public. I mean, think about it. When's the last time you heard of Omarosa doing anything? Like, y'all even remember Omarosa? She was all gung-ho for Trump. In fact, everyone who's been gung-ho for Trump, he has done something to make them step back. Hell, some of them is in jail. They done been arrested, all kinds of stuff. But my point is, if people cannot trust you, they're not going to want to serve with you and help you fulfill a plan. So in my opinion, that is why the number one quality that I'm looking for is the ability to corral and galvanize a team of all the people that you need. And that ability, that means you got to have charisma, you got to be likable, you got to be smart enough to present the issues in a way that people understand. Okay, even if you have a team that are giving you the issues, you actually have to have the know-how to present it to them. You have to have an extreme level of integrity, in my opinion, as well. Because once you cross that line into politics and you realize the power that comes with it, I think that's when a lot of politicians, that's when they start becoming corrupt. I think it's a gradual thing. I honestly don't believe most politicians go into politics corrupt. I believe they become corrupt when they're in office. Number one, because the terms are too long. Some of these politicians, they've been sitting in their chairs, they've been sitting in office for so many years. And it's very true. There is a psychology where if you are, it's called indoctrination. When you hear something over and over and over and you believe it, you lose the ability to think outside that box of indoctrination. That's just a fact. And that's what we see happening time and time again with these politicians. So that's another thing. I think we need to shorten these terms. We need to lower the age limit because, number one, our current president, he really is just too old. We watched him go from, think about back when we voted for him. Like, we knew he was old then. It's just, who else were we going to vote for? We didn't want Hillary Clinton. I mean, hell, we didn't want Joe Biden either, but he was the best choice because at the time, we thought Kamala Harris was going to actually add value to the presidency. But the reality is, from what I've seen, she has not added any value. Okay. And the point that I was making is we have watched President Biden age from 70, 75, whatever, however old he was, 80 to 180 in these first 4 years. Actually, it's been 3 years. Hasn't even been 4 years yet. I mean, he fell off his bike. We all saw that. I was looking crazy. That made him look 150 years old. Sometimes he forgets what city he's in. And I don't know this for a fact, but I really believe when they play the snippets of President Biden talking, I believe they speed the track up so he don't sound so sleepy. Now, that's my theory, because he sounds sleepy, he sounds tongue-tied, and he's liable to just say the wrong city. He's liable to fall off the airplane coming down the stairs. He's liable to, trip off the stage coming down the stairs. It's so many things that can happen that really Democrats should worry about. We should worry about that. If anybody tells you we shouldn't be looking at President Biden's age as a factor, they are steering you wrong. Really, they're steering you wrong, because even though I'm not a Trump humper, I would never vote for Trump. If you line Donald Trump up next to Joe Biden, they're the same age, Joe Biden is going to lose every time, just because he comes off as very, very old. He comes off a lot older than Donald Trump comes off, even though they're both old white dudes. That's just the reality. So I've resorted to manifesting a build a president in my own head. Okay. And I've made it known before, I would love for Dr. Richie to run for president. Okay. I had a vision about that, and I mentioned it. Dr. Rashad Richie run for president. And I'll reiterate, the reason why he's in my lineup is because, number one, he has an extremely high sense of integrity. And when I say integrity, I mean not just moral integrity, but whole, tact, and complete integrity. Meaning that what he starts, he finishes. Okay? I want a starter and a finisher. So I mean integrity on both of those fronts. Number two, he has experience in leadership and teaches it. There is science and art when it comes to being a great leader. Why was Dr. Martin Luther King a great leader? Well, you got to have the charisma, the things I talked about. Charisma, ability to get people to follow you, ability to get people to understand your vision enough for them to just follow you to the next step, and then to the next step, and to the next step. Okay? They don't have to understand the whole plan at the beginning, but they got to understand enough to follow you to the next junction. Martin Luther King had all of that. Think about the great leaders. Malcolm X, okay, Cornel West, the people that I named, the people that you named, Jay-Z, 50 Cent, Mike Tyson, all of these things. The reason, and I'm going to tell you, see, you guys heard us talking about Mike Tyson earlier, and my special guest was talking about how smart Mike is. I didn't know that, but what I do know is when Mike Tyson was at the top of his game as a heavyweight boxer, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody who was not glued to the TV every fight he had. That is what I'm talking about. That ability, the ability to get people interested in what you're doing, what you're saying. There's so many brilliant leaders out there, but nobody cares because they're not interesting. They're not great leaders. And all of that knowledge will be in their head because they have a hard time getting people to follow them. So everybody that we've talked about on our Build a President, they have something that made us interested in them. Okay? We love 50 Cent. In fact, I'm going to tell you what, I think people got more interested in 50 Cent when Power started coming on. Right? We all liked his music, but people wasn't interested in 50 like that. It wasn't until Power. And why was Power so interesting to people? Now, and I've seen Power a few times, but I've never been one to follow Power. But the times that I've watched it, I'm going to tell you what I loved about it. It was interesting, them characters, right? See, the characters all have a story. They have something that makes you want to follow their journey with them. And you know what? President Biden, he's lacking that. Who's interested in what he's talking about? Who's interested? When President Obama was going to be on TV speaking, I turned on because I wanted to hear what he had to say. When I know President Biden is going to be speaking or Kamala Harris is going to be speaking, I have zero interest. Zero. Okay, ZEEROW. ZERO. Zero interest. And that is terrible. That is a terrible place for a president to sit. And the fact that he's our current president, Kamala Harris is our current VP, they do not speak to me. And from what I see, they're not speaking to a lot of people. We're not interested. And I don't know, actually, I kind of do know. There is nothing that they can say. I'm mostly sure about that will get us interested in voting for them again. So we've talked about building our hypothetical power teams for president. However, in the real world, who do we have that's actually on the campaign trail? Actually, I don't even know if the Democrats have anybody. I can't think of one name that rings a bell. Like maybe there was a Kennedy, one of the Kennedys a while ago, but tell me who actually is in our lineup? I know more of the Republican candidates that are putting their names in the hat. Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, of course Trump, he's still there. What you think, Nelson? Who do you know any names? Any Dems?
I think usually, if I'm not mistaken, when there's an incumbent president, don't nobody from that party go against him.
Well, that's actually true. That's a good point. However, I think the circumstances are a little bit different. And I think this is a problem the Democrats have. They all know Biden is not fit for another term. And they also know that the Democrats were not going to vote for him another term. So I think that's the quandary. We actually need someone to come out. That is the problem. If we don't have anyone that speaks up where they're going to run, then we're going to be stuck with no choices.
Right.
And that means we might as well forfeit the presidential election because the Republicans are going to take it. So that's the problem. And that is a quandary. And I think, I don't know. See, I'm not into politics. I don't know the strategy. So maybe some political strategists will say, this is what needs to happen. But at the end of the day, we actually need somebody who's going to make a difference. And what are we going to do if we don't have anybody else? That's why I said I need somebody to actually run, because the truth is everybody behind closed doors will be talking about it. Biden's too old. Kamala Harris, she ain't old, but she just is not bringing any value to the seat. In fact, the longer she stays in the seat, the more value it loses. I'll even say that. So what do we do? Because next year, what's going to happen if we have nobody? If we have nobody, are we just going to show up to the polls and just, go ahead and vote for Biden and be pissed off about it? Man, I didn't want to vote for him, but what else I'm going to do? Pretty much, that's what folks going to do. And we're going to lose. We're going to lose to the Republicans. And then we're going to end up having Ron DeSantis as president and Nikki Haley as vice president. That's what I'm thinking. What you think, Nelson? I don't know. You got that look like, I don't know.
I mean, I could see that happening. Like if I was a Republican, like I said, I would vote for Nikki, Haley instead of Ron DeSantis. But I think, those conservative men will not want a president woman. So I would see that they will pick that lineup that you said.
Yeah, but you know what? I think Democrats would vote for a Republican woman.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. So I've heard her, I've heard her when she was running for her Senate seat. She's pretty right wing. She's on the right. But what I do like is that she's younger. I like that she's a woman, so her sentiments. I don't care how deep in the politics you get. If you're a woman and you have children, there are certain things you just are never going to overlook. Okay? You're going to have, even if you get voted for president, you are going to have some sort of sensibilities that is caring for people. Okay? Yeah, so these are some of the stuff we're talking about, y'all. Listen, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Savage Talk with Keefa on 101 TKO Radio. We'll be back. What's up? What's up? What's up, y'all? We are back. You're listening to Savage Talk on 101 TKO Radio. So I've been talking about presidents. Yeah, so we're talking about current President Joe Biden, Vice President Kamala Harris. As somebody from the Bay Area, I really had high hopes for Vice President Kamala Harris. I really did, even though in the Bay, she wasn't known as the greatest, I would say, advocate for certain communities. But she had been in politics. We were familiar with her name. And I had high hopes. That's the thing. I had high hopes. So I've been very disappointed, very let down. And in a lot of ways, I was hoping that we would see her show up more. And I don't mean showing up to this event or that event. I mean showing up in life, in that presidential seat, in energy, vibrational energy, showing up to propel our communities forward, from the VP seat. And I saw none of that. So I feel like the Democratic Party has regressed. When President Obama was running and Hillary Clinton was running, the Democrats, we sat in a different position. I think our country as a whole had more respect for Democrats. I personally had more respect for the party. I feel like it's just, we've regressed. That's really the best way to say it. We have regressed. Okay? Even Republicans, if they didn't agree with the politics, they respected the party. Now we look like fools. Really, we look like fools who don't have a candidate who is capable. We look like fools who are stuck. We're stuck. Are we stuck? Do you believe that the Democratic Party has regressed to a point that we have no clear front runners, so to speak, for president, even though we already have Joe Biden in office? It's true. It really is true. The expectation is that he's going to do another 4 years. That's the quandary we're in. Imagine you being in the Senate and, all the cameras are off. There's no cell phone. So nothing's being recorded. And the party gets together and the conversation is all about what we're going to do. What are we going to do? Because we all know Joe's too old. Okay, and just for giggles, President Biden, he's not part of the conversation. This is a conversation of just the Senate. Okay, just the Democrats. What is that conversation going to sound like? Okay, if everyone is being transparent, if everyone is being honest, if everyone puts politics aside, and let's even throw in there that they all have a genuine desire to improve our country, to make life better for Americans all over, all of us, not just one community, not just for Democrats, but for Republicans, for Democrats, for all ages, public schools, private schools, HBCUs, regular colleges and universities. Let's just make the assumption that they all have a genuine desire to make these things better. What is the conversation going to sound like? All right, so let me take a shot at it. Listen, y'all. We cannot make these changes with Biden in office. He's too old. The American people they're not going to have faith in us. They're not going to support us, and we're going to lose to the Republicans if we just leave Joe Biden as the only incumbent, the only one running. That's just the reality. Now, is it worth losing the presidential seat to the Republicans by doing what we're doing now? What's at stake? Well, see, some people, they may not say it, but they might say, well, yeah, maybe we need a Republican in office. Maybe, if the Nikki Haley is running, because she's young, she's exuberant, she's eager, she wants to make, that's the thing. The Republicans that's talking, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, they clearly want to make change. Whether you agree with the changes or not, they make it clear that they want to make changes. The changes may be to the far right, but you know where they're coming from. They want to make some changes. What do the Democrats want? See, what does Joe Biden want? Aside from spending billions for war and the military, what does the Democratic Party want for the country? I can't tell you. See, this is crazy. This is crazy. Am I saying next year I've got to vote for somebody? I don't even know what they stand for. This is my party, the Democratic Party. What do we stand for? As a party, what do we want for the country? I know what I want, but I can't tell you what the party wants. I can't tell you what President Joe Biden wants for me and my family. I can't tell you what Vice President Kamala Harris wants for me and my family. But I think, number one, this is the thing. When you get to a certain age, some things just don't matter no more. President Biden, he's concerned with his own family, Hunter Biden. And why wouldn't he be? That's his son, y'all. That's his son. He's supposed to care about his son's health over the presidency. Now, that may not be said, but that's the truth. You're supposed to love your children more than you love being in some office. But you know what? People will say that's a weakness. But let me tell you, my mama and my daddy, they better had loved me more than some doggone office. See, that's being human. In fact, for me personally, that's the best thing about President Joe Biden. He go to bat for his son. His son has substance abuse problem. He go to bat for his son, y'all. He is doing what a father is supposed to do. And there's people who will say he's wrong for that. There's people who will say he's supposed to put the needs of the country before the needs of his son. The country's important. The country's important. But you can't knock a dad for caring about his son. Short of doing something illegal, short of smoking crack with him, short of, bailing him out and paying debts with taxpayers' money. Like, yeah, he can't do any of that stuff. But you know what? He got to take some time to help his son. And I think it's shameful that we actually have people who are so disconnected from simply being human and loving your family that they will vilify him for that. And they will try to tie everything that Hunter Biden does to his dad. Oh, Hunter Biden, he was making these deals, doing this and that, and where's the money? Well, hell, where is the money? The same thing goes for you on your side too. The reality is that we all have people in our family that struggle with something. And when you become famous, and I don't mean Hollywood famous, it can just be politics. It could just be, B-list famous, Love and Hip Hop, Instagram famous. If you have any sort of following of people, you're subject to more scrutiny. And when you are in the public eye and you have family that has struggles with mental illness, substance abuse, all of those things, people will try to bring that up and use it against you because you have compassion for them. But see, I want a president that has compassion. I want a president who has compassion because I know what it's like to have family members that struggle with substance abuse. And so I want a president that has compassion. Why? Because he's going to understand that my family member needs support with resources, education, the things that are needed to help them get in a better position in life. Because ultimately, when they're in a better position, it's better for the country. You guys, look how crazy it is in California right now with all of the crime. And not just in California, all over, really. If you're a small business owner in Oakland and you have a retail business and you're on certain streets, and not just in Oakland, we've seen it here in Atlanta, people can just break in your place, grab all of your goods, run out the store, and you can't do nothing about it. You can't do anything about it. Where's the compassion behind the laws for the small business owners who don't have the money to pay the high insurance rates, who don't have the money to just replace all their goods, replace the windows, the broken doors, the stolen safes, all of that? Small business owners need compassion. They need a compassionate president. I'm a small business owner. I want my president to have compassion. I just don't want him to be 180 years old. That's the problem. He can't be 180 years old. So when we are looking at these candidates, when we can't get everything we want, I really think for Democrats, President Obama was the closest thing to giving us everything we want, short of the Kennedys, the Carters, back in the day. President Obama, he is the closest thing to giving us everything we wanted. And even if he wasn't going to do it, damn it, we believed he was going to try. We believed it. On the Republican side, what candidates can you believe in that will get you the things that you want and need? People believed that Trump was going to do it. I mean, they really believed he was going to build a wall and make Mexico pay for it. They believed it. And you know what? It's some people that'll tell you he did everything he said he was going to do. And they'll fight you tooth and nail saying he did everything he said he was going to do. He did more for your people than any other president and blah, blah, blah. You want to know why they believe that? Because Trump's delivery, he believes it. You see what I'm saying? He believed it. And so that means that his presentation was always and still is 10 toes down on what he believes. That's classic narcissism, y'all. He believes everything that comes out of his mouth. You want to know why? Because it's always about him. It's always about what he can do. It's always about what he did, what he's done. And he believes it. He believes it. Meanwhile, on the Dem side, if we can understand what President Biden is saying, if we can understand what he's saying in between the falling off everything, okay, that's the problem. Like, I'm giving them the compassion. I'm gonna go with that. I'm giving them the compassion. But the thing is, what we gonna do, y'all? We, meaning the Democrats. What are we gonna do? I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer. But neither do our leaders. Neither do our leaders. They are so disconnected. And you know what? It's not just because of the war in Israel. They was disconnected before that. President Biden, he was disconnected before that. And I'm going to tell you, I really believe, and this is a point that I was leading up to, I really believe when you get to a certain age, there's some things that just don't matter anymore. And see, all of the things that we want as younger Democrats, those things aren't important to President Biden. They're not. For bad, good, or indifferent. They're not important to him. Just like, think about back when you was in high school. No. Let's go a little bit older than that. Think about when you graduated high school, maybe 22, you in college. Did you think about health care? Was you thinking about paying for health care? No. You wasn't thinking about health care because you didn't think you needed it. Really. That was not on your radar. But see, as you got older, maybe you got your first job, career job, where you got benefits and you have to make a selection on healthcare, your health insurance, then you start thinking about that stuff. It's on your radar, right? And there's certain things you need with that health insurance. Like, for example, when you're a woman of childbearing years and you're not ready to have children yet, you're looking for some sort of health care where you can get birth control, right? You're looking for those things. But see, when you get to a certain age, like if you're President Obama's age, or when you're Hillary Clinton's age, those things aren't on the radar like they used to be. And that, my friends, is our dilemma. Biden is so old, he's disconnected from what the voters need and want. Who's he listening to? He doggone sure ain't listening to me. He's not listening to my friends. I don't know who he's listening to outside of his military personnel that are briefing him on what's going on with Israel and Palestine. That is it, y'all. That is our problem. Now, are we culpable? Are we responsible because we voted for him? At the end of the day, we have to accept accountability. We accept accountability for voting for him, but we're not responsible for his shenanigans. Okay, that's the difference between responsibility and accountability. Just like President Biden, he's accountable for all of the bad stuff that's happened and not happened. He may not have been responsible for the war in Israel, but see, he's accountable to how it's affecting us in America because he's the president. He is accountable for that. So I hope you guys have, I hope it's opened up your mind. You know, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for allowing me to take up some space in your brains today. It's Thursday. Is it the 30th or the 31st? It's the last day in November. Tomorrow is December 1st, y'all. So we got to head into that holiday spirit. You've been listening to Savage Talk with Keefa on 101 TKO Radio. I'm your girl. I'm your host, Coach Keefa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And that's our show, you guys. 101 TKO Radio. Download that app, you guys. It is 7 o'clock. I am